Hey, what's up guys, John here. You've noticed all the strikes that are happening. The UAW strike, the Kaiser strike, all these different strikes that are occurring.
The United Auto Workers Union is going on strike against the big three U.S. automakers.
A massive three-day strike begins across the country against Kaiser Permanente.
But have you looked at these strikes that are happening inside of the aviation space, inside of tourism, inside of travel?
American Airlines flight attendants have voted to authorize a nationwide strike.
The union representing American Airlines flight attendants votes to authorize a strike.
Look at all these different laws, rules, regulations that are already locked in that are going to change the price of travel, domestic and international flights, to the likes of which we've never seen before. I know you've enjoyed these cheap trips. I definitely have. Going from New York City to LA for $150, or going from Miami to Europe for $400 or $500 using all these discount apps. It's been incredible. But when you look at what's going on, this controlled demolition of the aviation industry, you're going to see our lives are going to greatly change. And I'm going to break down exactly what's going on to position you and prepare you in advance of all these different changes so you can pivot around them and live your life normally. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. YouTube will share this content to educate more people about what's really going on in the U.S. economy and the world economy. And if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself for what I believe is going to be the greatest wealth transfer in American history, the greatest transfer of assets we've ever seen, we'd love to help you if you have credit issues. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free strategy session to get everything squared away for 2024 so you can dominate. Take a look at this. So Southwest Airlines pilots would pay an increase of 50%, right? Talking $400 an hour almost. $368.47 an hour. Now this is a 5-year deal, $12 billion. Right? This is going to impact 11,000 pilots. So when you look at this, you're like, all right, well, these pilots, they deserve more money. Like, 2020 was very, very tough on these pilots. A lot of these flights were grounded. They deserve more money. No, yeah, sure, I agree with you. People deserve more money. Everything's more expensive. But let's actually look at the economics of what's happening. Let's look at these new laws. Let's look at what's actually going on inside the aviation space so we can see things clearly and not read the headlines, but read between the lines. So Bloomberg put this article out. It said no more cheap flights as the new reality for air travel, right? This came out in April, like 6 months ago. But they say that it's because of climate compliance. Laws get stricter. Now, what does this mean? What does this mean? Well, there's a huge decarbonization challenge in tightening climate compliance. So these airlines, before, they'd have the option to buy, offsets, carbon offsets. They could either buy them or choose not to buy them. Well, soon that's going to become law where they all have to buy them. So if you think about this from a business owner's standpoint, if you are a business owner and you have to incur more cost by buying these offsets, and you have to incur more cost with staff, with pilots, what is this going to mean? It's going to mean you're going to need to push those costs on the consumer. But what happens if the consumer has $17 trillion in outstanding consumer debt? They have record high student loans. 40% can't afford to pay the student loans. Average credit card balance over $6,000. People are in a bad spot. So how many people can actually afford to go from spending $150, $300, $400 on a flight to spending $2,000 or $1,500? Not many people. So what's going to ultimately happen? A lot more flights are going to be grounded. And when you look at what these are some of the biggest CEOs in the aviation space. The United Airlines CEO, talking about this, saying, this is ridiculous, but this is law. Right? He can say what he wants to say. This is law. You have other carriers, EasyJet, talking about, moving away from this, and they're going to be, they're going to find a different solution. You have these other, JetBlue is talking about relying on, a different solution. All these people are trying to find all these different entities are trying to find these different solutions on who to buy these offsets from. But they ultimately have to buy them, right? They ultimately have to buy them by law. And so when you look at how fast this thing is coming, look at this. It says right here, the first headwind stems from two big changes in the European Union Commission, and this isn't just Europe. American Airlines must have enough emission allowances to cover every metric ton of carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere on flights starting and ending in the European Economic Area, the UK, and Switzerland. Right now, they get about half of those allowances for free, but that deal comes to an end in 2026, and the share of these allowances have to pay starting the rise of from 2024. That is effectively going to double their carbon costs over just 3 years, right? So this obviously is going to go on to consumers. Their unit price of these emissions has soared recently, topping $100 $11 for the first time late February, and it doesn't seem to be on its way back down. When do things ever go back down? When do things ever go back? Look at Facebook advertising. Look at advertising anywhere online. It only just goes up, right? So if the cost is only going to go up, that means things are only going to be going up for air travel. But then Bill Gates said something very, very interesting. I'm going to get into it in a second. Look at this. So carbon allowances, they can be sold privately or in the international market. What's very interesting, they've been discussing the idea of individuals being granted a certain allowance of carbon offsets to where they could actually sell them on a public market, to where people then could go buy these offsets. So if you are a business owner, an entrepreneur, you're an employee, but maybe you make a lot of money, you could go out there and say, you know what, I want to go to Europe. I want to go to Amalfi Coast. I want to go cliff jumping. I want to go do something, I want to travel, whatever you want to do. I'm going to go buy someone else's offsets, and I'm going to be able to go travel, and then, yeah, I can absorb the newfound cost from the airline for this flight that was, before $500, now it's $5,000. I can afford it. You're going to be able to go live your life normally. Now, if you can't afford it, you're going to be forced to sell these offsets. Now, what Bill Gates said is he said that we are 18 to 24 months away from significant levels of AI used for the general population, right? So 18 to 24 months away. So I've been talking about this massive wealth transfer happening in the next 12 to 24 months. It's like right on the money, right? The next 18 to 24 months is what he's saying. We're going to start to see a lot of businesses consolidate, a lot of businesses go under, a lot of businesses flourish, a lot of businesses do extremely well. But I don't think there's going to be many that are just going to stay flatline like where they are right now. We're going to start to see a massive consolidation of wealth occur. And so if you make very, very smart decisions now, you're going to be able to put yourself in a very, very strong position. A very good decision could be putting yourself in a business that has a lot of opportunity. Putting yourself in a business that has almost no ceiling, no height of what you can achieve. I mean, look at this. Will fewer flights be available in the future? Stark new report lays out reality of decarbonizing travel. You look at this. The global availability of long-haul flights should be capped to meet these goals. The UK nonprofit Travel Foundation has mapped out future scenarios comparing business as usual with emissions-cutting changes in the tourism industry. The research report, entitled Envisioning Tourism in the Next 6 Years, aims to help policymakers and tourism industry on the road to net zero. It came a day after scientists reported that there's no replacement for jet fuel in the short term, throwing cold water on the UK government's jet zero ambition. After calculating the annual CO2 emissions of tourism under various scenarios, the Travel Foundation concluded the drastic action is required and fast. So, here's how I would look at things. If you do enjoy travel, if you want to be able to go travel and do what you want to do, now they tell you inflation is 4%, 3%, 6%. They'll put out their numbers, and they'll tell you what they believe inflation is. I personally believe what we're walking into is a situation of the haves up here, all the way up here, doing whatever they want, travel. They go ski trips in Switzerland. They'll do whatever they want to go, or go wherever they want to go. They'll live life normally. And then it's going to be the 99% down here. Now, I believe nearly anybody can go from the 99% to the 1% over the next couple of years, because there's so much wealth that's been concentrated inside of the 99% that are going to be listed for sale. So much wealth in businesses, so much is going to happen in the next couple of years. If you make the right decisions, you'll be able to put yourself inside of that 1% area, and you'll be able to live your life normally. But if you look at what inflation's doing, and you look at what is going to happen with travel, the cost of everything is going to continue to rise dramatically, way outside of just traditional spending on food and utilities and groceries. You have to realize that if you're making $50,000 a year and you want to live that normal lifestyle in the next 5 years, the next 3 years, you're going to need to go from $50,000 to $250,000 to $500,000. You're going to have to really increase income. And I believe anybody can really do it. And the reason being is I don't think money really has a value. I think money is almost worthless. If you look at the fact that they printed 40% of all USD in circulation since 1776 inside of the last 36 months, it's literally just imagination. It doesn't even exist. It's not real. It has no real value. They just print it out of nowhere. It's just numbers on a screen. And so when you look at how little value this dollar has lost over the last couple of years, you can start to see very, very clearly that we're going to walk into a situation that's going to keep printing more and more and more and more of it. They're going to continue pushing out these universal basic income pilot programs. They're going to continue doing all these different things. But if you are in the right business, you're able to absorb a lot of that money and you'll be able to offset a lot of these crazy changes that are coming for the world and for the economy and for the everyday American. But I believe people can achieve so many things far past what they believe, what they've been, trained in school, that $50,000 is a great salary, $100,000 is a great salary. That was back then, before they completely destroyed the dollar, before they destroyed this currency, right? The way in which we look at money needs to change. And with it, if you can change the way that you look at money, you'll be able to change the amount of money that's attracted to you. And you'll be able to enjoy your life, travel, you'll be able to have an incredible life. I believe that entrepreneurs, business owners, they are the backbone of this great country. That's what people came to America. They came to America to supply a great value for themselves, their family, give themselves a really, really great life. That's, America's been the land of opportunity, and it's been built off capitalism, free markets, right? Use this to your advantage. Use this free market capitalism to your advantage. I mean, what's left of it. Put yourself in the strongest position possible. Go out there, make the best of it, and enjoy your life. Because if you don't, I'm telling you, there's not going to be anybody, there's nobody that's going to save the ship. There's nobody that's going to save us. You got to go out there, you got to make it happen. What do you think about this entire situation? Drop below, let's have a conversation about this. And if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself, what I think is going to be a massive wealth transfer, if you're looking to get a business loan, or you're looking to get any type of bank funding over the next year or two, you're going to need great credit. Go to GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item in your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com, click the link in the description, and I'll catch you in the next video.